game 4 in our Vigilus campaign, so we've been around a few false continents now, and now we're in a new one, Hyperia. So this is where all of the planning gets done for Vigilus. This is where the Council of Vigilus sits, so this is where the defence has been planned. So it's been a bit rickety, hasn't been going well for the Imperium, and a certain chapter master is on his way to the planet. So as Imperial rule spirals out of control under heavy attack from the Orcs, and now the newly arisen Genestealer cult all over Vigilus, the war is soon to take a turn, for the arrival of Marneus Calgar, chapter master of the Ultramarines, is here and he's ready to take command on Vigilus. So the Genestealer cults have got wind of the unmatched legendary commander touching down in Hyperia, and the Genestealers have made a hasty strike to try and take out any supporting characters that will aid the chapter master in his bid to bring the planet into some cohesion. Here in Hyperia is the base of operations for overseeing Vigilus, where the figureheads of the defenders of Vigilus have to come to report to, and with the arrival of Marneus Calgar they all want to hear what he's going to do, so they're all coming from across the planet to see this legendary commander. So the ambush has been sprung on some new arrivals to Hyperia, trying to make their way to the council. So there's important people in this bunch. So the security force is small in number, it was to not let any leaks get out to the Genestealer cult, but of course their infestation spreads far and wide, and they've got ears in the council. So clearly the Council of Vigilus is compromised and will have to be dealt with, but for now Calgar will attempt to rescue these valued individuals on his way to the council, because he needs everyone he can get on his side to rescue this mess. So for this mission we're going to be playing Crucible of War mission out of the Vigilus book. So it is a narrative game, and it's Hold Ye Gains is the title. So this is the deployment, so there's a defender and an attacker. The Imperium of course are the defenders, so they've got a 9-inch radius to deploy in the centre, and then the Genestealer cult have 12 inches on either side of that. So what makes this mission a little bit different is the Imperium. You have to take 1/3 of your army, and it is deployed in the centre as so. The rest of your army will start to come on from turn 2 or battle round 2, and you have to roll for it. So old school type reserves where it's on a 3+, you get that on the table. So they come on from the Imperium's board edge, which is the both sides of a Dawn of War style deployment. So here and here. So they'll come on within 12 of the board edge, but not within 9 inches of any Genestealer cult units. And so how you win this game is the most power level in the centre will win. So you've got to get as much stuff in a 12-inch radius of the centre as you can. Okay, so we've got the Genestealer cult army, so it's the first for the channel. I've only played this a couple of times, so plenty of new stuff to wrap your head around. So we've got 2 battalions in this, and we've got 3 command points for being battle forged, so a whopping 13 command points to play with here, so there's plenty we can do, and we will try and do it, and plenty of new units and rules to wrap my head around, so here we go. We've got the Warlord, it's of course the Patriarch, and he's got 2 static powers. He's going to have mass hypnosis and mind control, and he's got a familiar with him. And we've got Magus, he's got a familiar, and he's got mass hypnosis as well, and he's got might from beyond as a static power. We've got Primus, and we've got 2 more HQs flanking. We've got the Acolyte Icon mode on either side. So these are in 2 different detachments. If you were playing match play, that would still work, because you can only have 1 character in each detachment. So because we've got 2, that's fine for that. So we've got a lot of troops as well. We've got 3 neophyte squads, 10-man unit here. So this unit is more of a close range unit. So there's shotguns there. Got 2 flamers and 2 seismic cannons. The leader's got a bolt pistol and a maul. This one is a 16-man squad, 2 mining lasers, 2 grenade launchers, and then the rest have auto guns. This is a 10-man unit, almost identical, auto guns and 2 mining lasers and 2 webbers, so the webbers are pretty good now. There's 5 pure strain Genestealers there, and we've got another troop unit. This is a Brood Brothers unit, so these aren't going to benefit from the cult rules, which we'll go over at the end. So these are their own thing. These have been abducted and folded into the Genestealer cult wicked ways. And we've got more troops here. One 5-man unit of hybrids, just plain, and then we've got a unit of 12 here with the banner to reroll 1s, and we've got each of the special weapons in there as well, and the leader's got a bone sword and a hand flamer, so hopefully these can get into combat and rough people up. And we've got some of the vehicles, so we've got the new Ridge Runner, that's got the heavy mining laser on, the double heavy stubber. We've got the flare launcher on there to try and keep it alive a little bit longer. The rock grinder, the what's it called, the clearance incinerator, and then we've got the truck as well. And then we've got this unit here. So this is probably the best unit in the codex, I think. Big unit, aberrant 9, 4 with the picks, 5 with the hammers. We like to go brutal with these, and the abominant leading them. Okay, so now we're going to pull some tricks, because I've got so many command points. There's quite a lot we can do here, so we're going to do warlord trait. So we're going to give the patriarch the warlord trait for Shadow Stalker, so he's -1 to be hit, so that's pretty effective for him. And then we're going to play the stratagem for a brood coven, which means if you've got a Primus and a Magus in your army, you can select a warlord trait for them both. So we're going to select biomorph adaptation for the Primus, and for the Magus we're going to have the Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor Inscrutable Cunning, which means we get a sort of a command point reroll during the game if he's with us, and you also get an additional D3 command point. So because this costs 1 command point to do with that stratagem, we'll get that warlord trait which gives us D3, so it's a free stratagem almost, and that's the D3, so we're getting that command point reimbursed, and then an extra one. Okay, so we're now up to a healthy 14 command points because of that little trick you can do with the Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor. And it's now relics, so we're going to give the Amulet of the Voidworm to the Patriarch, so he's got a +1 to his saving throws against range attacks, and you cannot overwatch him, so that's pretty good for him. And then we're going to pay for a second relic for Grandsire's Gift stratagem, so you can give a second relic, and we're going to give the special Four-Armed Emperor relic to the Primus. We want to make him a bit of a combat maniac, so he's got a super bone sword. I'll read it out. It's typical stats here for a bone sword, but it's AP -3, and he can make an additional 4 attacks with it. So with his warlord trait he's going to be making 9 attacks at strength 5 with an AP -3 bone sword. So he's pretty lethal if you can just get into combat. We'll have to see how that turns out. And then for our final trick, with all of our command points, we're going to do the Special Vigilus formation, or it's not formation anymore, it's a special detachment for the Anointed Throng. So you take the freaks in your army, which is this unit here, and the leader, the Abominant, and these are going to have stratagems open to them. So we're going to spend a command point to unlock that for them, and then we're going to pay an extra command point to give him Field Commander, which means he can take the Warlord trait from that special detachment, and now he's got a 6-inch radius where he gets a +1 to his advance and charge, and so does the Abominants as well. So with Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor coming in from ambush or coming underground, we'll be able to charge on a 2+, which is pretty tasty. Let's hope it works. So we'll spend 2 command points to unlock that special rules there. It's all very complicated at the start of the game to get these going, and when I say a 2+, I mean an additional 2+ to your dice roll, not they're going to make a charge on a 2. So with Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor, that's going to be everyone taking a big same cult here, so everyone except the Brood Brothers and anyone with the Genestealer keyword, so him and that unit. If you come up from underground, you get a +1 to your charge range, and that's it.
We have the Defenders of Hyperia. We have Planetary Defense Force, 2 units in black with the maroon berets, and then we have the Scions, and we have a small contingent of a rogue trader and their entourage. And at the front we have the Lord Commissar, the PDF commander, and the tech priest. In the backfield we've got Taurus, and we've got a Hellhound. Rescuing these boys will be the Ultramarines led by no less than Marneus Calgar. There he is. He's got a lieutenant next to him. He's got some of the ordinary Marines there. They're running a Rhino with a heavy bolter. At the back we've got some interceptors, and then we've got 3 squads of intercessors. Back we've got a
repulsor.
A repulsor tank. Yeah.
The name was repulsor.
Yes, and then we've got a lot of command points. We've got 3 Battleforge, 2 for Marneus Calgar, and 5 for each battalion.
So
total of 15.
Whopping amount of command points on either side here.
The PDF trait is going to be that for Vostroyans.
Okay, so extra range on the guns because of Vostroyans. Just to signify they've got the best equipment for being the security force that's going to try and escort these MVPs. Okay, so the Imperial defense is set up like this for deployment. All Ultramarines are in reserve as described, and then the defenders we've got is 2 units of infantry, plasma guns in each, long range on every weapon since the Vostroyan, so a good little setup there. The company commander's looking after them, and the Lord Commissar making sure no one breaks there. Tech Priest is on the top there, and then we've got the Rogue Trader retinue with the Rogue Trader herself on that side. So if no one's familiar with what these do, they're basically guardsmen, but they hit on 3s, and they've got a few extra special weapons there which we'll no doubt cover in the future. So underneath we've got support from the Hellhound, should be good in the city with dueling flamers there, and the Taurox Prime has got the full 10-man Scion unit in. Right, the Genestealer Cults set up next, so we're not going to use the blips in this game because we're guaranteed to have the first turn, so all that would mean is would be setting up anyway, so we're not going to use that. And because it's a narrative game, it's worth mentioning we don't have to worry about the large portion of units that are in Deep Strike Reserve. It's not a match play game, so that's not an issue, but we are going to make a slight adjustment on this mission because the Genestealer Cult army is a one that can just deep strike en masse. We are going to implement the rule for not being able to come in from deep strike on turn 1. It just gives the defenders a chance to defend because it might be a little bit overwhelming with this army in this mission. So just a little bit of an adjustment there. So for deployment we've got a truck here, and on board the truck is 10 neophytes, and that's the one with the mining lasers. On this side we've got the Cult Lehman Russ, and we've got the brainwashed unit of guardsmen in the building there. So our other units on this side, we've got the Rock Grinder. On board the Rock Grinder we have 5 Genestealers and the Primus, and then we've got the Patriarch just out ready to fly because he can go pretty fast. And lastly in this corner is the Achilles Ridge Runner. So it's got some firepower, that little vehicle. It's not very tough, but we're going to see if it can dish it out in this game. Brand new unit there. So everything else for the Genestealer Cult is in Underground, which is Deep Strike Reserve in layman's terms. So they're ready to come up from the sewers and whatnot and push the attack. But of course that'll be on turn 2, don't forget. So like I said earlier, there's no stealing the initiative for the Imperium, and Genestealer Cult will have that first turn. So the attack is sounded by the screech of the Patriarch in the backfield, and a cold shiver runs down the Imperium defenders' spines, collective spines. Okay, turn 1 movement for the Genestealer Cult. Fairly quick, just a couple of things move. So the Rock Grinder goes forward. It's now in range with its clearance incinerator, and the Broodlord advances. And then the only other thing that moves is this Guardsman squad up here. They just move 6 inches. Going to try and get some last gunfire into the centre. So all of the vehicles in that corner, and of course the Lehman Russ stays still, ready to pour fire into the centre. Alright, and just before we start shooting, it is worthy of mention to say that before the game began, this Taurox played a stratagem that is exclusive to this mission. It's called Dug in Defences. It's 2 command points, he's already spent it, and the vehicle is classed as a +1 to the save, but it can't move. As soon as it moves, it loses that +1 save. So Dug in Defences for that +1 save unless it moves. So 2 command points spent by the Imperium, and now we will start firing at it. So we've got this Lieben Russ, heavy bolter sponsons into this unit above, and then all of the guns at the Tower Rocks. That is the most damaging vehicle we can see at the moment. So here we go. The las cannon has hit, needs a 3. It doesn't do it. Ooh, I think we might just blow command point early. No, we'll not. We'll not. We're going to do battle cannon. Right, 8 shots out the battle cannon. And we're needing 4s to hit, because he's nothing special. Okay, we got 4 hits. And strength 8, we're needing 3s to wound. Of which we get 4. So, with you having that stratagem in play, he's effectively at AP -1. It's going to cancel out one of my APs. So 4 saves to make of 4 against the battle cannon. And 3 fail, so 3 go through. That's D3 each. So that's 3, 4, 5 wounds on the Tower Rocks. Right, so the Tower Rocks Prime is 5 wounds left now. And then we've shot the heavy bolters up at this squad. They have played the take cover stratagem. So we've got 3 wounds at the end, and they're saving on 5s because they're denying the AP a little bit. Okay, so it's 1 squaddy out of this unit dead, and then we fired this unit here. So the grenade launcher could only see that unit, so we fired, didn't do any damage, and then the las guns fired at that unit and didn't do anything. So we've got an autocannon, which I almost forgot about. It is snap firing. We'll do that at that squad that we just shot. 5s to hit. Oh, double hit. 2s to wound. We get 2 wounds. It's AP -1, so you're saving on 5s, which is your natural save. So a squaddy out of that unit drops down. Right, we're moving over here to the rock grinder. The reason why we haven't done static powers, by the way, is because he can't see anything, so nothing from him this turn. But the rock grinder's fired the heavy stubber up at the retinue. 2 wounds with the heavy stubber. He's going to need to save on 4 in cover, and he makes them both. That's good. And then we do have the clearance incinerator, so this is a little bit more nasty. So it's like a heavy flamer at 12-inch range, and it fires 2d6 instead of 1. So we're getting 6 shots out of it. Let's get myself 4 more dice here. And strength 5, so we're wound on 3s with this. So we've got 5 wounds. It's AP -1, so you back down on your armor save of 5. It's a pretty good roll. 2 are burnt to a crisp for the retinue. Okay, we're in this corner now. We've got this unit that's inside this transport firing at the Tower Rocks. We fired off the auto guns with no success because it's saving on 2s, but we do have mining lasers on board, and we are in range, and we haven't moved, so we're hitting on 4s because it is classes open top this vehicle. So we do get 1 hit, and it's strength 9, which do not do anything. Don't want to use a command point reroll in the early stages. So we're going to have the vehicle now, and that's going to fire the autocannons at the Tower Rocks, and then we'll have the heavy stubber up at the squad on the left. So we'll do the autocannons. 4s to hit. It's pretty impressive. All hit. They don't normally do that. 3s to wound. All wound. It's AP -1, so saving on a 3 with that stratagem in play. 1 goes through, so that's 2 damage. It's got 3 wounds left, the Tower Rocks. The heavy stubber fired next and killed a guardsman, so just going down in 1s in the top there. So we're going to move on to the last thing to fire. It's going to be the Ridge Runner in the corner. So we're going to fire the heavy mining laser at the Hellhound, and then we're going to do the double heavy stubber, and that'll go up at the Elucidian Star Striders. So let's have the heavy stubber, or the double heavy stubber. So we've got 3 hits because it only hits on 4s, and then 3s to wound. We get 2, so saving on 4s in hard cover. So 1 more of the retinue explodes in a shower of blood. So there's just a heavy weapon and the sergeant left now, because obviously you don't want to take those guys. Okay, so notice that the dog still stands, which nobody's got the heart to kill the dog. Will be the last survivor in the squad, no doubt. So right, the heavy mining laser off the Ridge Runner at the Hellhound in the underpass. So we'll get a cover save from here. And how many shots are we getting? So it's D3, so we're getting 2 shots, hitting on 4s. Oh, we've missed with both. That is the fate of all heavy mining lasers. Okay, so morale checks, everyone passed thanks to the Lord Commissar, and this unit passes because the dog is keeping them in good shape. Morale is high when you've got a motley on your side.
Oof.
It's Imperium turn 2, and the defenders on the top here have seen the oncoming doom on this side, and they've all around at the other side of the landing shield to run away from them and get the las guns on this unit in here, because they can see this is going to be a problem. So that's what's happened on top, and then underneath, the tech priest, we can just see him in there, the engine seer. He's done a cracking job on the Taurox Prime. He used jury rigging to heal it 1 wound, and then he healed D3 wounds for the full 3, so it's back up to 7 wounds left, this Taurox, so it's back on its full bracket of health, and it's going to try and get into a dueling contest with this Leman Russ. And on this side, the Hellhound, it's come bursting out of its almost hiding spot, 12 inches. It's going to try and roast this Ridge Runner to death. It's got the tools to do it. It's a pretty formidable weapon, and it was born to kill Genestealer Cults Vigilus. Okay, we're going to start the shooting phase. First we're doing some orders. 2 of these units have reroll 1s because they're trying to fire off some plasma guns at opportune targets. So we've had 6 las guns rapid fire up into this building with the Vostroyan rule that can rapid fire at 15. 3 wounds on this unit in this building here, so we're saving on 4s. So 2 die in that squad in the building for the Genestealer Cult, and then he's firing a plasma gun overcharged from that unit down at this truck. So he's going to need a 4 to hit and reroll 1s. So he does hit, it's strength 8, so needing a 3 to wound. He does wound, there's no save because we're only armour 4, so it's 2 damage, which we can save on our rugged construction on 6s. So no, 2 damage on the truck. Okay, the far squad is doing exactly the same thing, so las guns rapid firing into the squad in the building. Again, 3 wounds. And we save 2, so another squaddie's dead in there, so it's 3 so far. And then the long range plasma shot with the Vostroyan rule, 30 inches, overcharged at this truck. So gets his hit, needs a 3, and gets a choice 5. So again, there's no save, and we'll have to rely on our rugged construction. Again, we don't get anything, so 6 wounds left on the truck. Okay, more fire coming in on the squad inside the building. We've got the retinue of the rogue traders. He's got a rotor cannon. He's moved. It is a heavy weapon, but he's got ballistic skill 3, so he's hitting on 4s with 4 shots up into the tower, and he rerolls 1, so he gets them all, and it's strength 4, so wounding on 3s, of which he gets them all, and it's AP -1, so it's going to deny all cover. Got to save on 5s, and we only make 1, so there's another 3. Alright, that unit in the building is in tatters now, halved in size. So the Taurox, now on full health, he's going to shoot at the truck with all of his guns. So he's firing the rockets off first, needing 3s. Gets 1. Wounds 1. So it's AP -2, so we'll get a save this time. But we won't make it. So it's D6 damage. We've got 6 wounds left. 3. But we'll get our rugged construction on this. We haven't got one yet, so not very good. 3 wounds left, and then we're going to have to stomach the autocannons now. So 4 shots from the autocannons. And there's 3, so needing 3s. Oh, just rolling on fire now. So all work, AP -1, needing 5s, we don't get any. So that is 6 damage we're going to have to do rugged construction on, which we make 2, but 4 go through, which is enough because we only have 3 wounds left. Do we explode? It doesn't matter, so we'll just see how many casualties crawl out of that wreckage. Okay, so we lost 2 in the wreckage, so there's 8 in that squad left, and they pile out into the street. So
You what?
it's a Bruce Springsteen song. Right, so anyway, Hellhound is going to torch the Achilles Ridge Runner. So will it be the Achilles? There's 2 dice. Let's have it. So there's going to be 8 shots pumping out of that, and 8 gouts of promethium, and it's going to need 3s to wound, which he makes all but 2. Might as well just roll these. So it's AP -1, 7 on 5s. Okay, so these dice don't work as well for me. So 6 wounds. We've got rugged, well, it's not rugged construction, it's flares. So 6s. So try and save. So 5 go through, pretty damaging. We've got 3 wounds left on the Achilles Ridge Runner. Luckily, the heavy flamer is out of range for that vehicle. Right, that's the end of the Imperial's turn. Pretty damaging. So we've got morale checks to take. No morale checks for that unit over there. They're leadership 8 and only lost 2. This unit is a different scene. So these are leadership 8 and they lost 5. So that is 12. So we've lost 4 more chaps. Right, turn 2 for the Genestealer Cults, and this is where they will strike. So we've had, well, poured through our stratagems and we've came up with some good ones here. We've spent quite a few command points to do this, but here's what we've got going. So the Broodlord started here. We chose a stratagem that is special to the mission, which allows you to automatically advance 6. So we've gone there under the underpass. So he's got eyes for possibly the Taurox or the Tech Priest under there. So he's now lurking in the shadows where he belongs. The Genestealer unit here, they got out of the rock grinder before it sped away. So they got out 3 inches and then they moved 8 inches. So again, we'll use that stratagem because it's narrative play. You can use stratagems twice if you want. So we've gone up and there we are. We went a whopping distance to get to here. So the Genestealers can advance and charge. That's a big thing for them. And of course you may have noticed a load of eggheads on the Sky Shield landing pad now. So we played another stratagem. It was lying in wait. We cannot charge, but we can arrive 3 inches away from a unit. So they must have been hugging onto the bottom of the Sky Shield, staying so silent, and then they've just popped up through the hatches when the time comes. So they've all got auto guns, and they're just going to let the Imperium have it on the Sky Shield landing pad. And just on this side of the landing pad, we've got the Icon Ward. He turned up 9 inches away, and then we've got, you can just see him, the Primus. He got out of the rock grinder, didn't get quite as far, so he's under there. And the rock grinder sped on that way. He's going to try and come to terms with the Hellhound. The unit that was blown out of their transport is just making their way down the street a little bit. The heavy weapons did not move, but everyone else has. And then the last unit to turn up was 5 hybrids behind this wall here, so they can run out of that door, try and get a charge onto the Taurox if they're lucky. And then of course the main shooting vehicles, the battle tank in the corner hasn't moved, and neither has the Achilles Ridge Runner all the way in the distance there. It hasn't moved either. Right, we're going to start the static phase with the Broodlord. He's going to do mind control onto the Taurox. So we can actually, if this all goes well, we can take control of the Taurox and fire at that Hellhound. That's the ambition. So this is Warp Charge 7. So that's good. We've got it off. There's no one that can possibly deny the witch there, not yet. And what we do is roll 3d6. If it's higher than the leadership of the model, which is only leadership 7 for the Taurox, then we can take control of it, which we absolutely do. So we'll turn its guns around and we're going to fire into the back of the Hellhound. Okay, so here we go. We're going to fire with the Taurox. It happens to be better than anything I've got in the Genestealer Cult Army because it hits on 3s. So autocannons into the back of the Hellhound, and it's hit with 3. And needing 4s because it's strength 7. We get 2, AP -1, so 7 on 4s for the Hellhound.
It's well armoured.
the loaded duds. I thought that was going to happen in the loaded duds. So here we got rockets into the back. We get 1 hit. Needs a 3. We get it. AP -2. Needs to save a 5. And it was just like a big waste of time in the end. Okay, well that was disappointing. Next psychic power we're going to do mass hypnosis, and it's going to be on the Hellhound because we don't want that to overwatch because we're planning on charging it with the vehicle. We don't want any silly wounds staying on the vehicle. The 7 is what we need, and the 7 is what we get. So it can't overwatch, and it's -1 to hit, but that bit won't matter because it automatically hits, but it will not overwatch, which is the most important bit. Okay, so we've got the unit in the street. We're starting the shooting phase with them. We're firing mining lasers at the tower rocks, but we've already fired the small arms weaponry up at this unit here. We've done 3 wounds. They need to save on 4s. Wow, 3 die. That was mostly the webbers doing the work there. So now we've got the 2 mining lasers, and we're going to fire at the tower rock. So this needs to happen this time. So they didn't move, so I'm hitting on 4s, and we miss. Nice. Right, moving down here, we've had the Ridge Runner. It's fired heavy stubbers up at these. There's 2 wounds to be saved, and then we're going to fire the heavy mining laser on these. So we're going to have to do the 2 saves up there, needing 4s to save. So another guardsman perishes from up there, and then we've got heavy mining lasers. So can any mining lasers do anything? So D3 shots. We're getting the full 3. That's a good start. We stayed still, hitting on 4s. Only 1 needs a 3 to wound. We do get a wound this time, so it's AP -3, 6 to save. Doesn't save, right? D6 damage. Not very good. Okay, so we've fired this at the Hellhound. So the stubber hasn't done anything, and then we've got a couple of wounds to save on the clearance incinerator. So it's AP -1, so 4s to save, and 2 wounds. So it did better than the mining laser. Only 8 wounds to go on this. This unit will now fire. So we're going to use a stratagem, and it's going to be extra explosive. So what that means is we're going to have 10 squad members throw a grenade. So that's pretty good. So we're going to have 5 throw a grenade at this squad, 5 throw grenades at the far squad. We're having 2 auto guns at the far squad, and then we have 2 mining lasers and 2 grenade launchers are going to fire down at the Hellhound. So we'll do the Hellhound first with the mining lasers. So these classed as moving, so we're needing 5s. So we haven't hit with the mining lasers, and the grenade launchers, solid shot. We've hit with 1, needs a 5, which we do get. It's AP -1. We need to save that on a 4. It's a 1, so it goes through. That's D3 damage. Just the 1. So 4 wounds shaved off the Hellhound this round. Okay, so we're going to go on to the grenades now. We fired off the 2 autoguns, in fact, at the squad further away. Didn't do anything. It's worth noting that we are going to class units in cover here because against each other, because they are on and within cover, which is the stipulation for being for qualifying you for an armor save. So technically they are on and within a cover piece. So there we go. So that's going to apply for both sides though. So right, we've got 5 grenades firing at these. So how many shots are we getting? Oh, that's not very good. Really not good. And then the other side are going to have that many. Right, so we're doing this side first. That was 11 shots coming at them, so 4s to hit. And that's 5. So that's a bit average. So we're needing 4s now because it's strength 3 grenades. So we get 3, and you're saving on 4s because of that cover that you are on. So 2 go down. That squad is I think there's only got 2 left in that squad now. Okay, now for the far side unit, they ended up throwing 22 frag bits at them, so 4s to hit. Right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops. So we're needing 4s. Oops, drop 1. And 4. Need to save on 4s. So this grenade attack, not quite as good as I thought it was going to be. But 2 are fragged. Alright, we're over here now. We're going to have the Lehman Russ. It's going to fire, I think it's going to fire exactly the same as it did the last time. So heavy bolters up at these, and all other main guns at the tower rocks. So heavy bolters first, 4s, wow, he's got all hits this time, 3s, all but 1, so saving on 5s, it's going to crack your cover.
You're 5.
Yeah, 5s on 5s. So he's got only 1, so 4 perish on that volley. Right, battle cannon now, here we go, at the tower rocks. So getting 6 shots. Can you make them count? So 4s. Only 3. 3s to wound. We've got just 2 in the end. So you've still got your cover save stratagem from the first turn in play. So it's effectively AP -1. So 4s to save. And saves them both. So just bounces off. Leaving us with the las cannon now. It does hit, it doesn't wound. Right, it's very, very poor from the shooting for the Genestealer Cult. What we can't do with shooting, we're going to have to get it done in combat, but there's a lot of Overwatch here. We didn't quite do as well as we thought at all. It's up to the Genestealers. Right, so straight on the charges, we're going to have this unit of hybrids charge the tower rocks. It won't be able to Overwatch because we're going to burst out the door and not give them time. So it's a 9-inch charge, or 9 inches on the dice, but because we're Cult of the 4-round Emperor, we're only needing 8. And we only roll 6, so they don't do it. Right, next up we've got the Broodlord underneath, or the Patriarch. He's going to charge the Engine Seer underneath and the Tower Rocks. So it's a 4-inch on the dice to get to the Engine Seer. And we've made it on a 9, so we're going on a 7 rather. So we will get both our intended targets. So we're going to shut that Tower Rocks down for a moment. You may be asking where the Overwatch is, and it won't happen because that's his relic. You can't Overwatch the Patriarch. Alright, the Genestealers are going to have to go in to combat. We're not charging any of the guardsmen, but what we're going to have to do is charge the Lord Commissar, the retinue, the Rogue Trader retinue, and the Rogue Trader herself. It's absolutely suicidal this, but we're going to have to do it because there's nothing else we can do really. So, because they will heroically intervene, those characters, so that's why we've got to charge them. Right, so what's first? The shotgun.
Oh, okay.
His shotgun. He gets a hit and he can reroll 1s for a Lucidia Vin. So he does get 1 hit in the end, so needing 3 to wound because it's strength 5 at close range. So he does get a wound, so Genestealer's got to save on invulnerable 5. So we've lost the Genestealer. And now the rotor cannon, so whoops, that's 4 shots. Just destroying the buildings here. 4 shots from the reroll 1s. No, got away with it. Now Lucidia herself, she's got an heirloom pistol. So hit on 6. Doesn't get it. And then the Commissar's got a plasma pistol. And he doesn't hit, right. So we've only lost 1 Genestealer in the end, but it's not where it's going to end. So we'll get a 7, so we're going to move in. Okay, so that's how we've stacked up in combat. Lucidia Vin, she's heroically intervened onto the Genestealers. And it is now the start of the fight phase. So because it's the start of the fight phase, the Rogue Trader has concealed Architect weapon. So on a 4+, it's D3 mortal wounds on the Genestealers, which is not good. So it does come off, and then it's D3 mortal wounds because it triggers, and now it does the damage.
Command point reroll.
Okay, command point reroll. And there's 2 Genestealers dead before they've even got a chance to flail their arms. Right, so the Genestealers will fight now. Okay, after much thinking on it, we're just going to have to attack the Genestealers onto the retinue because we can't take on the characters because we won't kill them and they'll still get a fight. So we're just going to try and take out the rotor cannon and the shotgun, and unfortunately the dog. Sorry, but that's the way it is. So hitting on 2s because we've got the Patriarch underneath. He is within 6. All but 1. So we're wounded on 3s. Any 6s we'll kill, but we don't get any 6s. But we'll get 3 wounds, and that's AP -1 with Rending Claws, so you need 3 saves of 6. No, so that is the bodyguard wiped out, but the characters will strike back when their time comes. Right, we're going to fight with the Patriarch now. He's in the shadows, you can just see him under there. So he is in contact with both the vehicle and the tech priest under there. So we're going to dedicate 4 attacks to the vehicle, 2 attacks to the tech priest, and then the familiar will attack the tech priest as well if he's still standing. So 4 blows on the vehicle, and we hit them all. And then it's strength 6, so we're wounding on 4s. And we can re-roll, but that is a really good start. Oh, that was really good. 6s for the Patriarch are AP -4 and a flat 3 damage, so he's actually killed that Taurox. Because that's 9 damage at AP -4. So let's see if it explodes. Hopefully not. Oh. It's going to be D3 mortal wounds for everyone involved there. So the Patriarch, do you want to start this off? D3 mortal wounds. Alright, so that's devastating. So we're going to take that first blow on the little helper, because he did help with that psychic power the last time, so he has no use but to die. And then it's 2 wounds on the Patriarch, so that's not a good start. And then D3 mortal wounds onto the... oh no, yes, you to roll because you're exploding vehicle. So D3 mortal wounds on the tech priest. Just 1.
Made to order.
Right, so the Scions lost 2 in the scramble to get out, so they're down to an 8-man unit now. But we've still got our 2 blows to resolve on the tech priest under there, so without our extra attacks from our familiar now, so just have to count on these 2 to do it. So we've hit twice, and then at strength 6 we're needing 2s to wound, I think. Double check if I don't roll that. We do re-roll all failed hit rolls anyway, all failed wound rolls. Right, so that's AP -4. And it's 3 damage, and this one is just D3 damage. You need to save first. Does he have a refractor field? Right, so they don't have a refractor field anymore, they have bionics, so it's still a 6 invulnerable save. So on a 6 you'll block that really punishing blow, that rending shot. No, so he's taken 3 damage, and now he needs to block this one on a 6. No, so he is dead, because that would be D3 damage, which would take him up to 4, 5 wounds, which he still would die. So he's gone, we've got our man, but we are sort of in the lurch now. Okay, we're onto this fight now. It's the last of the charges to fight. I forgot to mention we did actually make that charge no Overwatch because of the psychic power plate. So we've got 6 attacks with the rock grinder, and then with our drill dozer blade we can get an additional D3 on the turn that we charged. So we're just getting an additional 1. So we're hitting on 4s, and that was decent enough. And it's strength 9, so needing 3s. So they all wound in the AP -2, so you need to save on 5s.
What was it for?
4. Right, they all go through, and it's D3 damage each blow. So there's a series of 1s. So there's 3 for 5 damage done. So that's in addition to its 4. So it's 9 wounds taken. It's got 3 wounds left. Right, Hellhound, he's on the middle tier now. He's only got 3 wounds left, but he will fight back. It's D3 attacks. So he's getting 2 attacks, and he's hitting on 6s probably.
Yeah.
Okay, no damage there. So it's all of the return fights now. So we've got the Lord Commissar and the Rogue Trader up top. The Rogue Trader will now fight. So 3 attacks from her. She's hitting on 3s, and she rerolls 1s for herself. So she's hit all 3. She's only strength 3, so she's needing 5s to wound. There's 2 wounds, and we have invulnerable 5 saves against her AP -4 blade, which we don't make any. So she's single-handedly rapiered the Genestealers. And so the Rogue Trader emerges victorious. She doesn't consolidate because she doesn't want to die.
Preens of feathers.
Right, so that ends the Genestealer Cult's turn. No morale's failed on here because of the Lord Commissar. He's keeping morale tight, and the Scions passed because they only lost 2 anyway, so auto pass for them. Okay, it's Imperium turn 2. Bit of a reshuffle on top of the landing pad there, so the characters have gone over that side. The remainder of this squad have come over here. This Hellhound's peeled off combat, and the remaining Scions are going to take the fight to the neophytes in the street. So it's time for reserves. So before they do anything, they've pulled a mission special stratagem. Can't quite see it from here in the book, but you spend a command point and you automatically get a unit on from reserve without rolling. So it's been the repulsor, and inside the repulsor there's Marneus, a lieutenant, and a squad of 5 intercessors. So they're automatically turned up 12 inches from the board edge, so they've arrived on top of this building. Because it's got the fly keyword, it can go up there. So now it's time for the stuff to see if it does come on from reserve. So we'll go from here. So on a 4+, they arrive. No. The Rhino, that's got a 10-man squad inside, that does arrive. Intercessors, they don't. And then the Inceptors on the end there, just rolling the trip, they do not. I think it's a 4. Scratch out the do, it was a 3. So the do come on, the 3 is what's required. So they will come on, the Rhino will come on to join Marneus and his squad. Right, so the rest of the Ultramarines reserves have been deployed like so. We've got the 10-man unit in this Rhino, and then the Inceptors come down right next to the big repulsor. So everyone's staying in a clump. No doubt when Marneus gets out, that reroll ability will come in handy. Okay, so we're starting the shooting up on top here. So we've had orders go out, reroll ones for this squad. So the plasmas have fired and killed 3 Genestealer Cults straight away, 3 neophytes. The las gun didn't do anything. Now it's the Lord Commissar. He hits on a 2 with his plasma pistol. He's hit and then needs a 2 to kill. And there's another one dead. And then you might as well do the Rogue Trader as well. She's got Architect pistol, hits on a 3, and she's missed. Right, we've got the squad at the back. They're going to fire plasma guns down at the rock grinder, so they're going to overcharge both. So the plasma gun hits both, and then the pistol from the sergeant, he hits as well. So no one's dying to any overheat, and 3s to wound because of overcharge. Of course, it's a full house, all 3, and no, actually what am I doing? There's no saves, but there's 3 go through. That means 6 damage because each was overcharged. That means 6 rugged construction rolls, which we make 2, so there's 4 damage on the rock grinder. Alright, so we've had the repulsor, it's firing down all weapons into the centre, except the las cannons are going to go at the ridge runner in the corner, is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so all weapons are fired at the middle squad, come under extreme fire here. So there's 1 wound that we can save on a 4. It's cocked die. So no, and then we've got the icon mode under there. It is within 6 of that squad, so we can save on a 6 if we try hard, but no, so there's 1 casualty. And then we've got 10 wounds from all of the AP -1 weaponry. So we're going to have to save these on 5s. That's a decent attempt. There's quite a lot in there. So we've only actually failed 3 in the end. That's really good. And then we've got the icon ward saving on 6s underneath. So we got 1 and 1's disappeared. Nope. So 2 more have died. And then there's 1 more wound from a crack grenade, which you have to save on a 5. Which we do. So we've only lost 3 in the end. Normally, when that opens fire, there's just smoke and boots left. But this time, the Genestealer Cult have actually hugged the earth, got some cover, and it's paid off. Alright, as promised, here comes the las cannons down at the Achilles, so 2 shots, and a double 1.
Oh!
Marneus needs to get out of the tank and start telling people inside the tank to reroll.
Can't do that, can
Yeah, so he does hit in the end with the command point reroll. 3s to wound, he does get it, there's no save, so it's d6 damage, there's only 3 wounds left on that vehicle. It's the 4, the only chance we've got to save here, so we'll roll some 6s because of our flare launcher.
Ooh.
Oh, we do, we've got 1 wound left. Can you believe it? Okay, under more fire from the Rhino just at the back there with the bolter drill, gets 3 wounds on the neophyte squad, needs 4s to save. We'll make all but 1, and then the cult icon underneath doesn't save another 1, so slowly going down. Right, we're moving on to the scions now, so the whole squad is going to fire into the neophytes, except there's the 2 special weapons can actually see through this window and see the neophytes, or the hybrids rather. So the flamer's going to open up first and put a gout of flame through the windows, and he's going to get the full 6, and that is going to hurt. So toughness 3, so you're needing 3s to wound. Okay, all but 1, and we're going to save on 4s here. Might as well use these. So we've lost 2, and then there's the plasma gun to fire. Gets 2 hits, 2s to wound. Gets them both, and then we're going to need 6s to save, I believe. But we don't get any. So down to 1 hybrid left in that build. Right, so here come the hotshot las guns, and the red dice is a plasma gun. This is going into the neophyte, so hitting on 3s. And that's fairly good. Plasma pistol misses, unfortunately. These haven't got the, for anyone wondering, these aren't actually from the Tempestus Doctrine, so they can't get that extra hits on a 6. They're just part of the main detachment. So anyway, as we are, 4s to wound. And there's 5, I don't know what that is.
Cocked.
So 5, so at AP -2, that's just going to kill 5 neophytes straight away. Alright, so there's 3 left in the street, and then they are soundly gunned down by the Inceptors here. We've already done the dice rolling, mammoth amount of hits, mammoth amount of wounds, mammoth amount of not 6s on the dice. So they're all gone. This sector is clear of any Xenos filth. It's down to charges now in the Imperium turn 2. So this squad's going to charge first into the main squad of neophytes. So we're going to open up with 2 grenade launchers firing flak shot. So there's 6. Can't count anymore. 6s. Get 2 hits, needing 4s. There's 1 wound. Saving on a 4 because you counted as in cover on there, so you save. 2 mining lasers. Let's see if we can get some overkill. Nope. And how many have I got left? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 autoguns left. So 8 shots. See if we can even kill anybody. Get 1 hit and 1 wound. So he's saving on a 4 because that's classed as cover. And he saves comfortably on a 5 in the distance there. So in they go, and the fight will now wage on. Right, everyone's made the charge on top of the landing pad. All the characters are in, all the blades are drawn. Right, so the combats will commence. So Lucidia, or someone who looks like Lucidia, 3 attacks from her, she gets to reroll 1s. So she's got all hits, and then she's wounded on 4s this time. So she makes 1 wound and it's AP -4, so that just cuts down a neophyte in his prime. So let's go for the Lord Commissar now. I think, let's see how many attacks he's got. Right, Commissar has 3 attacks, so he hits on 2s though, and he's hit them all. And then he is strength 3, so he's needing 4s to wound. And he's got a power sword, so he's killed another 2. And then the company commander, he's got 3 attacks, and he hits on 3s. He's not quite the swordsman that the Commissar is. The Lord Commissar is. He gets 1 hit and he needs a 4, and he makes it. So quite good in combat, these ones. Alright, so we've only got 4 squaddies left, and then the infantry, basic infantry, will fight. There's 2 sergeants in there with chainswords, so they will have a lot of attacks. Right, the squaddies fight now. 3 wounds done to the main squad, so we're saving on 5s against the basic attacks. Oh, we've made them all. Okay, so we're going to fight back with the power pick first. So he's going to fight against Lucidia, and he's got a +1 to hit because the Primus is 6 inches underneath that squad. So here we go, and he's got 2 attacks hitting on 3s. He's hit once. Wounds, so you got an invulnerable 4.
Come
Doesn't
on, point reroll.
Oh, okay, come on, point reroll, because it's D3 damage. This power pick. And saves it. Okay, so no damage. The pick was heading for in between our eyes, and then it just bounced off our refractor field. So we've got trivial attacks to do. Right, we did our extra 3 attacks on top, and nothing happened. Couldn't get the wound, so no extra casualties there. And we thought it was looking good when we arrived on the pad there. We had a big unit and a unit of Genestealers, and then we're beaten back quite soundly. Who knew? So Patriarch underneath, he's given them a fearless aura, so they will not break in morale. But this lonely hybrid in the shadows might. So he's leadership 8, we lost 4, and he runs away. Okay, turn 3 for the Genestealer Cults, and our reserves have come in, not where we expected them to be. We've pretty much been scuppered a little bit, so we'll go through what's happened. These 3 characters, they've come up through the bottom of the Sky Shield, so they're going to take the fight to the last defenders of the Imperial Guard up there. And this squad's came in from reserve. They used the line in wait stratagem again like the other squad, so they can arrive within 3 inches of enemy units, but they can't charge, so they're just going to be on shooting duty. We've had this squad, we couldn't really find a place for them. We've been pretty much pushed back out of where we would like to have been, so we've had to put them here. We're going to hope to make a charge on the Scions. So this is a big squad, and we've got the Magus in there with them as well. And the Leman Russ has had to pull towards the left a little bit so we can see through that doorway up at the Inceptors next to the Repulsor, so we're going to try and blow them out of that cover. They've got a lot of firepower, it needs to be done. Okay, the Achilles Ridge Runner, that stays still. We don't want any negatives to our heavy weapons for moving and shooting, so we're going to try and finish off this Hellhound. And the Rock Grinder, it's moved around the side here, it's going to try and flame the Scions, and then we'll probably end up in combat again with the Hellhound if we have to. And then our last of our reserves comes in down here, so this is the United Throng contingent, so we'll get a +2 to our charge range, but we might still have to make the perfect ambush stratagem. It costs 3 command points, but we'll get to move an extra d6. So we originally wanted to try and take on the Repulsor, but because that's got a special rule where you have to -2 off your charge range, so we're expecting to try and get in on that using all those stratagems and all those command points to try and get it, but he's just simply went up high and there's no way we can get at him, so we're just going to have to settle for the Rhino and see what happens. So what we've got here is we've got the Abominant and an Icon Ward, but the rest of the squad is the Aberrants, so we're going to use a perfect ambush on the Aberrants, and they're going to move forwards d6. They're going to move 4 inches forward, so let's see where they get to. And to finish off the gross expenditure of command points, we're down to our last command point. We're going to do hyper metabolism on the Patriarch, see if we can heal d3 wounds. We heal 2, so that means he's fresh and he's back up to his full health. So we've gone into the static phase. We've done 2 static powers from the Magus. He's done Might from Beyond and Mass Hypnosis, and we've done them on this unit, so they're +1 attack and strength, and the Scions can't overwatch and they're at a -1 to hit now. So we're also going to do, so we've used our Familiar because we've done 2 static powers. So we're going to do the Patriarch now. He's going to smite, and we've made sure the nearest is that pesky rogue trader, which has been absolutely deadly, so we're going to have to see her off if we can. So that's a failure on the smite front. Okay, so we're going to do the shooting phase now. We're going to have the Leman Russ fire through the doorway up at the Inceptors in the building. So we'll do the heavy bolters first. Actually no, we'll do the battle cannon first. See how many shots. Incredible. Getting 11. And we're going to need it because it's going to be hard to remove these. So we're hitting on 4s. This is where our luck needs to come in. 6. That's good. And then 3s to wound, of which we get all but 1. So there's 5 wounds, and because you're in cover, that'll only be AP -1. So 7 on 4s, on 5 dice. Right, he's made them all but 1, so it's d3 damage. Let's see if we can kill 1. We do kill 1, so there's 1 Inceptor down, 2 more to go. Let's fire off the las cannon now. So it did move, so he's hitting on a 5. And he missed. Good effort though. On a 4. No one told him I needed a 5. So heavy bolters now. We'll just get another. So it's 4 hits, needing 4s because the toughness 5. You only get 1, so 7 on a 3 because you're in cover. And he saves. Right, we've moved on to the Rock Grinder, who fired the heavy stubber up at the Inceptors, didn't do anything, but the the Clearance Incinerator, 10 shots on these, 7 wounds need to be saved on 5. So only 1 so far, there's 2, so 5 Scions went to a crisp. Right, this squad that's just arrived, they're going to fire, or have fired. They've fired shotguns down into the Scions, and then we're going to fire the mining lasers into the Inceptors. So the shotguns have done okay. 3 wounds on the Scions, gonna have to save on 4s. Oh, that's 3 fails, so the squad's wiped out. So now we're going to have to rely on our mining lasers. So because they've come up from the underground, it does count as moving. If you come out of normal cult ambush, it doesn't. But since it's from the underground, they do. So they're going to have to hit on 5s here. We're going to hit on... we're using the long shot, of course. The long wave variant. So there's a couple of hits there. 5. And then what we've got to do is, it's only strength 3, so we're needing 5s to wound, but if we're getting these 6s, then that's AP minus 4. We'll get no 6s and no wounds, so sonic blasts don't hurt Ultramarines. Okay, we've moved on to a pistol shot down here. Didn't do anything against the Hellhound, so we're going to have to fire heavier shots. So as promised, the Achilles Ridge Runner is going to fire its heavy mine laser into this. We're going to get 2 shots, needing 4s to hit. We get 1, 3s to wound. We do wound, so you need to save on a 6, it's AP minus 3. Doesn't do it, it's got 3 wounds left. It's D6 damage. Just the 1, again. I rolled that the last time. So 2 wounds left. Got no command points to try and re-roll that. And then we're going to have to rely on the heavy stubbers to do this. So we got 1 hit. No wounds. It's a very, very tough Hellhound, that one. Right, charges now, we've run out of guns, so it's this squad charging in on the Rhino. So we've already done the Overwatch, it's done 1 wound on the Aberrant squad. So we are 5 inches away after we moved 4 inches with Perfect Ambush. And we've got a +1 for being Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor to this dice roll, and we've got an extra +1 for the United Throng because of the leader. So we do it, we've got a 7-inch charge +2, it's a 9-inch charge going in on the Rhino. Okay, so they've got in like that, just across to the back of the Rhino. We're going to try with the Abominant now. He gets a +2, but he doesn't get any extension to his charge, so an 8 will do. So he makes it in because of the Warlord trait and Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor. All you need is a 7. And then this chap, he's going to need something a little bit more special to get in. He's going to need an 8. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Oh, he does get in. So the Rock Grinder goes through the Overwatch, or we're about to find out if he does. 2 Inferno Cannon shots need to be saved. And we save 1, then Rugged Construction. Nope, so we take an extra wound. We've got 5 left now. That might hurt us when it comes to fight. We're going to have to check, but he's going to go in and ram this one more time. It's got 2 wounds left. Let's try and bring this home. And then we've got charges up top as well. So we've got the Patriarch. He's going to go in on the Rogue Trader. The Icon Ward's going to go in on the big unit, and the Primus is going to go in on the Lord Commissar. Okay, so we've just checked on the profile, and 5 wounds means that we're not going to have the automatic 6. We're going to have D6 attacks. So we'll just do this combat here. So we've got D6 attacks for our profile, only roll 2, and because we charge, the Rock Grinder gets a D3 extra because of the ramp. Just 1, right? Really low this time. We're going to need to finish it off. Hitting on 4 still, and we've missed every single one. Right, we're going to move over here to the Patriarch, try and cheer us up. He's got 6 attacks on the Rogue Trader. He's going to hit on 2s, gets all but 1, and then he's got a wound on 2s with rerolls. Any 6s are damaging. So, right, so you've got 4 attacks to save on your invulnerable 4, and then 1 to save on a 4 again, but this is for flat 3 damage. So do 4 saves of 4. Right, 2 go through, and then do 1 save of the guaranteed flat 3 damage. Okay, flat 3 damage, and those 2 wounds will kill her. Let's see how many wounds he would have done. So 3 plus 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, she would have been dead big time. 100 times over. Okay, we're going to continue the fight up here. We're going to have the Primus fight the Commissar. So he's got the Relic Bone Sword. He's going to get an additional 4 attacks. And then we're going to use our 4 attacks on our profile for the Toxin Claw. And then we're going to have an extra attack because of the Warlord trait that he's got, to give him an extra attack. So he's 5 in purple are the Toxin Claw, 4 are the Relic Blade that he's got, the Relic Bone Sword. So he's hitting on 2s, so he's dropped a couple there. and then 2s on the purple dice, 3s on the black dice. Okay, so there's 4, 5, 6 wounds for him. Commissars have 4 wounds, and they're all going to put him on onto his refractor field. So he's got 6 saves to save on these invulnerable 5s. Okay, he's dead. He failed 5 of them. The Commissar gets his head and his hat lopped off. Okay, we're going to do the Acolyte Icon Ward onto those 3 guardsmen. So he's got 4 attacks. He's hitting on 3s, but he's got a +1 because of the Primus helping him out because he's the leader. So he's hit all but 1, and then 3s to wound. And that means no rending, but it is AP -1 naturally, so there's 2 saves to be made of 6. So loses 2, he's still got his Sergeant, he's the one with the most attacks. Okay, we're going to come back over here, we're going to have the Abominant fight the Rhino, so he's got heavy blows to try and hit with here. He's got 3 attacks only, but they are pretty devastating if he hits, but he hasn't hit that well. But he did get a 6, which means he gets an extra automatic hit. So he's strength massive, he's strength 6 times 2, so still 3s to wound against the Rhino. You only get 1 in the end, but it's AP -3 and 706. So he doesn't save, and it's flat through. It's D6 damage, but you can't get lower than a 3. So 5 wounds on the Rhino, 5 more to go. Alright, they were then attacked with his Familiar, didn't do anything, just scratched the headlight out. So now we're going to attack with the big squad, and they've all got hammers. So there's 5 of them, 2 attacks each, and the leader gets an extra one, the, what's he called? The Hypermorph. So 11 attacks with these hammers. Couple of misses there, no 6s because he does give that benefit to these as well, so you would have got extra hits for any 6s, but not this time. So wound on 3s, and that's a big roll. Right, that's all of them, so just roll these, see if you can get any 6s because it's AP -3. So absolutely not, so he's totally demolished because each blow is 3 damage. Okay, so that's the Rhino absolutely crippled. Let's see if it explodes on a 6. It doesn't explode. Big sigh of relief there. But he's going to have to see if the Marines get out, how many Marines get out, and where they're going to go, because we've tried our best to surround it. Okay, so they did lose 3 trying to scramble out of the wreckage, but he was able to place all 7 survivors. So it seems like it's incredibly hard to swamp a vehicle and kill everyone inside so they can't disembark. You're going to need a really, really large unit. And we're back up here for the fighting. So the static fighters, we've had the neophytes fight in. We've had 2 attacks on this sergeant and 1 attack in on this one. So this guy failed to hit, but these 2 have done 2 blows on that sergeant. He's going to have to save on 5s. So he's dead. That's big news because he's got 3 attacks just by himself. So that's good. And then the neophyte leader with a power pick there, he's engaged in a fight with the commander, the company commander. So he took a blow with the pickaxe, so he's going to need to save on a 5 on his refractor field. So he doesn't save, and a pickaxe is D3 damage. But it's only 1, so he's just taken his arm off. But luckily, it's a bionic arm holding that power sword. Okay, so he's going to fight with the company commander, and he's going to lash out with that said power sword. So he's got 3 attacks, and he's hitting on 3s, and this is against the neophyte squad. So he's got 2 hits so far, 4s to wound. He does get 1 wound. It's a power sword, so it goes straight through the armour. But we do have the icon mode, so he's going to give us a save of 6. No, okay, so 1 neophyte gets chopped in half. And last 2 to fight on the landing pad were these 2 remaining squaddies. So 4 attacks, but missed them all. So it's starting to panic now that the broodlord is upon them. So the fight is pretty much over on the landing pad. The Genestealer Cults look like they're going to secure that. Okay, and in an unusual turn of events, a Hellhound manages to do wound on this rock grinder, so we're going to have to save on a 4, which we do, right? So that wasn't totally embarrassing. We didn't do any damage to it. If that Hellhound just turned its turret around and killed one of the drivers, that would have been so embarrassing. Okay, Ultramarines turn 3, so movement, or lack thereof just about, goes like this. So of course these are going to stay in the fight here, and this Hellhound is also going to stay in the fight. He's actually hoping that it explodes, and causes a load of damage, so he actually wants it to die now, which is very worrisome. So the Ultramarine defense up here, this is where it's going to get fighty, all in this little corner here. So out of the repulsor comes the intercessors here, and then of course the man of the hour, Marneus himself, and his lieutenant friend come out, and he's going to wage war on these ugly creatures. So he's got support from the Inceptors and of course the tactical unit at the back there. So he's also done a command point to get automatic reserves on, so there's another intercessor squad here, and then he's got to roll a 3+ to get the last squad on, so this is an intercessor squad. So he needs a 3 and he rolls a 2.
Command point reroll.
Okay, command point reroll, he's got plenty and he gets it. So the second squad sets up here, just 9 inches away from the aberrant unit. So that's saying that he didn't get any command points back with his warlord trait. So he's still got plenty, still 8 to go for the Ultramarines, and the Genestealer Cult don't have any blue. Blue 5 just to get this charge to work. And we've spent command points elsewhere. So Ultramarines definitely in favour. Right, the Ultramarines are going to start shooting. They're going to start with the unit, the tactical unit, at the back of the building there that climbed out the Rhino. So there's 5 with bolt guns, 1 with a bolt pistol, 1 with a heavy bolter. So blue is the bolt gun shots, and there's a black for the heavy bolter. So 3s to hit because they're not classed as moving, and then full rerolls because of Chapter Master Marneus Calgar. Okay, all hits, success. Right, so these are only toughness 4, these aberrants, so you're wounding on 4s with the blue, 3 with the black.
The lieutenant.
Oh yeah, reroll 1s for the lieutenant. So that's pretty good. So we'll take out the duds, and there's not many of them. So I'm just going to roll these. So the heavy bolter is AP -1, so we'll save this on a 6. So what armor save? No. And then we've got disgustingly resilient equivalent, which you don't get. So we've already sustained a wound in Overwatch when we're charged in, so we've lost an aberrant early. And then these shots, I get an armor save of 5. That was pretty good. And then I get the feel no pain of 5, which wasn't very good. So 3 wounds, that means there's an aberrant dead and a wound passed on. Okay, I was fairly successful from the trusty old Marines. This intercessor squad now, they are within 6 of Marneus, so they're full rerolls for them. So all bolt guns down into this mass of bodies. So full rerolls, so 4 to reroll. And just 1 goes astray. 4s to wound. Okay, and reroll 1s because of the lieutenant. Right. So 3 fails there. So again, at AP -1, we're saving on 6s. Only make 1, and then feel no pains. So we'll fail 3, but we can reroll 1s because the Acolyte icon ward is with us. So we'll make another 1. So we've taken 4 wounds, so that's 2 more aberrant cut to shreds. Okay, now we've got the Inceptors. There's only 2 left, but they're going to fire in now, so 6 shots each, devastating stuff. So 12, and they're rerolling because of Marneus. And that's another full batch of hits. So 3s to wound, reroll 1s because of the lieutenant. So just 1, 2. Alright, so they're all our successes except for that one. So again, at AP -1, we're saving on 6s. Total eradication of the Xenos here. So we'll make 2, and then the feel no pains, which you can reroll 1s. Still not enough to do anything. So we've lost 2, 2, 2, 2. So there's 4 aberrants dead. Right, the lieutenant is going to try and finish off the last aberrant, the leader, the hypermorph, and he's going to finish him off with a crack grenade. He's just going to roll that across the floor, hits on a 3. He does hit, needs a 3 to wound, and he does wound. It's AP -1, so save it on 6 again. No, and then it's D3 damage. So what's the damage? 3, and he's already taken a wound. It's been 1 wound's been passed on to him, so he needs to get all of these on 5s. Gets 2, fails 1. That is the squad wiped out. So the only ones that are left is the Abominant and the Icon Ward. Right, we're going to move on to the man himself. Marneus, he's going to open fire, but he's going to send his shots past the shoulder of the Abominant into the Icon Ward. He's got intel that this is the best way to do it. You take out the supporting Xenos first. So he's got 4 shots with the Gauntlets of Ultramar. And 2s to hit, he rerolls 1s, of course. And then he wounds on 3s because he's only toughness 3, the Icon Ward. And he gets 3, but these are extremely damaging because the AP -1 and the 2 damage each. So I have to save these on 6s. Oh, he's going to live. So he's taking 2 damage, but we'll get the save on our fail no pains of 6 for the Icon Ward. No. So he takes 2 wounds, 2 left. Okay, so Marneus signals the attack to the back to shoot at the Icon Ward. So we've got 5 intercessors rapid firing into the Icon Ward. Okay, so not very good from them. Only half shots. Hit. And then 3s to wound.
2.
Oh, only 2. This still might kill him. He needs 6s and then 6s. Doesn't make it, and then he's got his fail no pains of 6. Doesn't do it right. So the Icon is dead. The colours fall for the Genestealer Cult. It's just the Abominant left, and he's got his hands full. Alright, Calgar now tells the next squad to fire into the Abominant, and he's done Scions of Guilliman, so he's going to get full rerolls with that squad, and he didn't get his command point back. So, yeah, full rerolls with Scions of Guilliman because they are an intercessor unit. Okay, that's all hits. So this guy's toughness 5, so you're going to need 5s to wound. Oh, he's escaped without
Not
a
a
scratch. Right, firing the repulsor next. We've done all of the shots because it takes an age to fire. So all of the Gatling shots and the what's it called? The stubber, the Icarus stubber, fired at the hybrids in the street. So there's all these to save. I think there's about 100, and we're saving on 6s. We've actually come out of that quite nicely. So we've lost 6, but we saved 6. Magic. And then the Crackstorm missiles did 1 wound to the unit under the Sky Shield, so they save as well. And now there's more shots. Okay, so the 2 last cannons down at the Achilles. Need to hit on 3s. Get them both, and then 3s to wound. Rerolls 1 because the lieutenant's just down there. Okay, there's 2. Need to save on absolutely nothing because it goes straight through our wafer thin armour. So it's 2d6 damage. We've only got 1 wound left anyway.
Oh, it's good, isn't it?
Well, just roll. I want to see if I can roll an abundance of 6s. So 8 to save on 6s. Absolutely not. So we're totally dead in the street. There's no one around if we exploded. Alright, so back onto the Abominant. So 2 Crackstorm, that's what we're called. So can reroll that missed hit because of Marneus. So 2 hits and then strength 6, needing 3s to wound. Get them both. Right, so AP -1, so we're saving on 6s first. No, and then it's D3 damage each. So 2d3. So that one's a 3, that one's a 2. So his special rule is you've got half rounding up the damage. So that goes to 2 and that goes to 1. So he's taking 3 damage, which he can feel no pain on 5. And he doesn't do any, right? So he's taken 3 wounds. He's got 2 wounds left. He's rocked to the core. The Icarus rocket pod now might even finish him off. So it's D3 shots. Just a 1. And then hits on a 4 because he's not an airborne target. He can reroll 1s and 2s because of Marneus, and he does hit in the end. 3s to wound. Doesn't wound, but he can reroll 1s because of the lieutenant. So he does get a wound in the end. So we got there. So 6s to save. No, it's only 1 damage, which we do save on a 5 with our feel no pain. Right, so we've moved straight into the assault phase. So Marneus, straight in on his man. We've got no Overwatch to do. And then the lieutenant is close in on him. He's going to take some up close and personal lessons from Marneus. So as well, just to rewind a little bit, you don't half the damage on the Abominant, you reduce it by 1. So same effect, but just worded a little bit differently than what I said. So there we go. So Marneus is going to lash out with the Fists of Ultramar. So he's got 6 attacks. And he hits them all because there's no minus to hit with his super duper power fist. So he's strength 8 against toughness 5. You're going to need 3s to wound. And he drops 3. He could have rerolled 1s because of the presence of the lieutenant, but he doesn't. So 3 go through. I can't save that on my armour because I'm only wearing an apron. So you've got 3d3 shots to land on him. 3d3 damage, so I say. Okay, that's pretty bad. Only 1 there, and then of course that special roll will bring that down to 1. So just 3 damage done on the Abominant. Do you want to command point reroll any of them before I start making saves?
Yeah, we'll do 1.
Okay.
No.
Still drops down to 1. So only 3 damage, but he's only got 2 wounds left, so we're going to need to save 2 of these on our feel no pin. We don't. The Abominant goes down, squashed beneath the relic gauntlets of Ultramar. Right, we've got fights over here, but before we do, I forgot there's a few guys with pistols here. So we're going to have a plasma pistol. He's going to fire at the icon ward, and he's going to overcharge. So he's hitting on a 4. So he does get his hit, and then wounds on a 2. Okay, it does get his wound, and there's nothing we can do about that. I've got no armor save, but what we do have is feel no pains of 6. So we make 1, so we've taken a wound. 3 wounds left on that icon ward. Alright, then we'll move on to the company commander. He's shot his last pistol into the neophytes. Got a hit, got a wound, so we need to save on a 5, which we fail. And then we need to save on the icon ward on 6. Nope, so we've lost a neophyte. Okay, so we have got the attacks going on over here now. So we, at the start of the fight phase, we heroically intervened with the Primus, so he's in that fight with the leader. So the company commander, he's going to fight the neophyte squad. He's going to try and cut down as many as he can before he goes. So he's got 3 attacks and he's missed them all. Nerves have set in. He's facing down the Genestealer Cults finest, and then the Genestealer Cults will fight back. So I'll tell you what, we're going to fight with this icon ward first. So he's got 3 attacks and he's going to try and do that squad in. So here he goes. So he hits twice and then he wounds on 3s. So he gets 2 wounds and it's AP -1, so he's saving on 6s. And there's another one to save. Okay, they're both dead. Right, we're going to fight with the Broodlord now, and he's got dibs on this company commander. You can see he's pointing, saying, him. He's mine.
Clean 0.
So, 6 attacks. So he's hit with 4. 2s to wound. Rerolls wounds. Okay, that's absolutely savage. So save these on 5s because these are flat 3 damage. So no, he's absolutely toast. He's been torn to shreds by the massive rending claws. Right, it's time for the vehicle fight. So the Hellhound will strike first somehow. So 6 is to hit. No. Right, so we're going to fight back. He could explode. We don't want him to explode. And we've got D6 attacks to try and do it, because we're in a state. So we only get 2 attacks. We don't get the additional D3 from the Dozer Blade because we haven't charged this round. So we're still hitting on 4s though. And we've totally missed. That might actually be for the best. Right, so that is the end of that absolutely savage Imperial turn. And there's no need to do leadership tests because the Broodlord makes those fearless, and there's a guy just underneath there, 6 inches to the Broodlord, so this unit will pass. Right, Genestealer Cults, turn 4. So the game's winding down. It's a random length game, so I don't know when it's going to end. So we'll try to get as much as we can in the centre. We're exclusively armed with short range weapons. We've got shotguns and knives, basically. So we're not going to do anything in the shooting phase hardly. So everyone has gone onto the landing pad. So all the unit that was here has ran up, even the Magus, which means we've got about 30 or more power level on top of this Sky Shield. So we're still trying to win the game. The Leban Russ moves forward under 5, so we're going to try the battle cannon at some of the intercessors in the distance, but we've got to weather so much firepower in the oncoming turns. We've just got to keep our heads down and just see this one out.
Get your baldy heads down.
Battle cannon at long range into the intercessor squad over there. because we can't see the repulsor because it's up high and it's just too much building in the way. So we've got a las cannon as well, but that's moved, so let's do the las cannon. He does hit on a 6, and he does wound, so you need a 6 to save on an intercessor, and he doesn't, so it's d6 damage, and we get another 1 every time we've rolled a d6 damage. We've rolled a 1, so he's not dead. Let's see if the heavy bolters are in range. So the heavy bolters are out of range, and now we've got the battle cannon. He's getting 11 shots again.
Oh no.
So he did this the last time, but he didn't do too well, so let's hope he was just firing off a warning shot last time, and this time he's serious. 4's to hit. Okay, he's half serious. He's over half serious. And 2's to wound. We get all of them, so 6 wounds, and he's saving on 5s. Let's see if we can take out an intercessor squad. Right, so there's 2 saves. So 1 already had a wound, so 1's dead. And then I've got 3d3 damage to do. So 1's guaranteed to be dead. The next one is a 2, so there's a second dead. Third one only takes 1 wound, so that second damage will kill him. So 3 intercessors dead in total to the battle tank. I've got a couple of guns left to shoot. We've got seismic cannons at long range at the tactical squad in the window there. So hitting on 4s because we stood still this time. And then needing 5s to wound any 6s at AP -4. So we get 1 wound. It's got no AP, so saving on a 2 because he's in area cover, because we count that as area cover. And he does save. Right, we've got 1 last shot. And it's this heavy, it's not a heavy mining laser, just a mining laser up at the repulsor. So he's going to hit on a 4. That's a gutter ball, so we'll try here. No, he's missed. Okay, so that is the end of the shooting phase for the Genestealer Cults. And it's time for... Oh, actually, we've got an autogun. So let's fire this autogun at this squad here. Look out. He's hit. And he's missed. With a wound. So let's combat. So we've got this still engaged in combat here. So we've got D6 attacks. We get a full 6 this time. And let's see if he means it. He's hitting on 4s. And he gets 4. And these are strength 9, so needing 3s. And he gets 2. So this is AP -2, so you need to save on 5s. Doesn't make either, doesn't matter what the damage is, it's D3 damage each. So he gets 4, it only had 2 wounds left, but this is the crucial roll. So it's gone. Does it explode on a 4, because Hellhounds are filled with Promethium? He does not explode. It's a command point reroll, which we always knew was going to happen. It does explode, and it's D6 mortal wounds, I think, for everyone within 6, so we're going to have to check. Okay, so just double check that it is a 6-inch radius blast, but it's only D3 mortal wounds, not the 6. So it's not quite as terrifying. So D3 mortal wounds on the rock grinder. It's the 3, but we'll get rugged construction. But that doesn't deny any. So we're down to 2 wounds left on this, so it's in really bad nick. And D3 mortal wounds on that neophyte squad up top. 2 for them, but we do get the icon saves because we are next to the icon ward, and we don't make any, so that's that unit wiped out. And crucially, that's actually 6 power level destroyed because that was the last of that unit. Right, it might as well be Ultramarines turn 4 now. All the Imperium units have gone, so it's just Ultramarines. They're on the move, so they're foregoing all the bolter drill rules because they need to actually go out there and win this mission. So the intercessors just taking steps forward, the repulsor comes down upon high, and the tactical squad are moving out of the building into the street. There they are. So everybody is keeping within 6-inch range of Marneus and mostly the lieutenant. So more firepower, more devastation, more rerolls, more dead. Genestealer Cults on the way. Okay, the Ultramarines are starting to shoot, so the Inceptor's right at the back, firing at the closest neophyte squad. So they've already shot, already got all the rerolls, and they've ended up with 8 wounds we need to save. So in cover, so save on 5s. And that was fairly good. And we've got 3 to save from the icon ward. So right, so 3 dead in that unit, and there's more firepower to come, a lot more. Right, the tactical squad has fired in 5 wounds on the neophyte. The heavy bolter missed, so save on 4s because there's no AP on old school bolters, but they don't need it. They're showing that these guys have been around. 4 to save on the icon ward, needing 6s. No, there's another 4 polished off. Right, the intercessors upon hive shot down. 3 wounds on the neophytes. 5s to save. We'll get 1. The icon ward fails them both. Right, we're down to 1 neophyte left, and he just will not let his man go. There we go. Right, the Space Marines at the back, the last 2 remaining after the battle tank fired at them, have seeking revenge. So 3 wounds put on the last neophyte. 7 on 5s, it doesn't make any. And now we need a 666 to make sure this guy lives on. Nope, he's dead. Okay, so with the death of the last neophyte, it's exposed the characters because we don't have enough bodies, because these didn't run far enough in their movement to get the characters out of trouble. So exposed characters now, and Marneus has spotted the opportunity, so he's fired the Gauntlets of Ultramar at the Primus first, and he's got 2 wounds, so we are in cover. So we'll save on 6s, I believe. That's AP -2, so we don't save any. And we've taken a wound now, so we're going to do, we've taken 2 wounds, so we're going to try and pass these off using Unflinching Loyalty, or whatever it's called, where the Genestealers, the cultists, will dive in front of the bullet. So I need to pass this on 4s. So the Dontie's going to take both hits, and they're going to be passed on the icon mode on 6s, so this could kill him outright. He's passed 2, he's taken 2 wounds, so he survived Marneus' shot. Right, the Patriarch's coming under fire. He's taken only 1 wound, which you're going to have to save on a 4. And he does, right, so he's blocked that one. Right, we're finishing the Ultramarine shooting phase with the thing that's got all of the shooting on it. So the Repulsor has opened fire, and it's going to clean house, I believe. So there's been 6 wounds on the icon ward from the frag storm launcher, so he's going to get the save on 4s against this, and he fails 4. He's only got 3 wounds left, so he's we're going to have to just take these on himself. So he's going to have to save these on a 6. He doesn't, so he's dead. It's a sad scene. We don't have our 6 feel no pains anymore. And then there was 2 crack storm launches onto the Primus, so he's going to have to save on a 5 because it's AP -1, and he's in cover. So he passes 1, fails 1. We're going to try and pass this off onto one of the neophytes on a 4+. So he does, so that means one of the neophytes are killed, and he carries on. But then there was 2 more shots from the Icarus rocket launcher that hit him, and he's going to have to save these on 5s. And he makes 1, fails 1, so that's just 1 damage, and we'll just accept that on him. So he's got 1 wound left. Right, now this is where it got dangerous. He's shot with his what's it called? The onslaught cannon, the heavy onslaught cannon, and came away with 9 wounds because he's re-rolling all fatal hit rolls because of Marneus, re-rolling 1s for wounds with the left turn just behind. So absolute withering amount of firepower. 9 wounds on the Patriarch. Gonna have to save these on 4s because AP -1 we are in cover. So 4s for the Patriarch. So he saved 5. 4 go through, and we're going to try and pass these off onto the neophytes behind. So needing 4s to pass these off. We'll pass 3 off, and he takes a wound. So 3 of these are dead. And he's taken a wound, so he's got 5 wounds left. And then the last thing to fire on the Repulsor dedicated its last cannons to the Lehman Russ, yeah. So 2 shots, hit on 3s, both hit. Needing 3s to wound, strength 9, gets them both. Right, we're saving on 6s. We don't get either, so it's 2d6 damage. and 6 damage. Do you want to command point reroll that too? Try and get higher. And he took the bait. So 7 wounds left on the Leaving Russ.
Yes, we got it back.
And he gets the command point back as well. Right, so that's all the shooting done for the Ultramarines, but it certainly doesn't end there. There's going to be charges to be made. This has only got 2 wounds left, and so the Ultramarines will get after it. So Marneus is charging first because he's got the best armor save. So he's going to have to sit through this flamer attack. We're getting 6 gouts of flame at him. So he's toughness 5 in that newfangled armour of his. So we're needing 4s to wound. Drop the dice. So we get 4 wounds. And he needs to save on 3s because he's got an armour save of 2. So he fails 1. So he's taking a wound. And then we've got a heavy stubber, which we'll try and get him with. No. Right, so he's only got a 4-inch charge to make. He'll probably make it. He's Marneus. And he makes it on a 7. So with only 2 wounds left on the Goliath Rock Grinder, Marneus goes in with support as well. So he's got the Lieutenant in there and 2 intercessor squads. So Marneus will strike first, as he has the honour of doing so. So 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, gets them all. We're using Ultramarine dice now, just a
Rub it in.
flagship dice. So remember, on these dice, use are 1s for anyone who hasn't witnessed these before. So he's wounding on 3s, I believe. Yeah, 3s. So he can reroll 1s because of the Lieutenant. So he gets them all. So we can't save against these. So it's D3 damage each. And because we've only got 2 wounds, it is gone. So let's see. We're going to use an Ultramarines dice. No, we're not. It's just too bad. I'm not doing that. I'm not that kind of person. So on a 6, it'll explode. No. It's the opposite end of the spectrum. So the Rock Grinder is destroyed. That means all of these units will consolidate even closer to the centre of the battlefield. Okay, that is the consolidation move for the Ultramarines. So they get closer to the centre, so they're all pretty much there now. So we'll be moving on to turn 5, but we'll not, because the Genestealer Cult, that's all they've got left in the army. They've got 1 Primus, he's only got 1 wound left. The Broodlord's taking a wound, and then there's just 2 Neophytes and the Magus left, and the battered Leman Russ in the corner. So it's not going to last that long. We don't want to sacrifice the Broodlord in Hyperia, so all of his followers tell him to run away, save the Grandsire. So he runs along, jumps over here, and disappears down the manhole just there. So that's where he's gone. The Ultramarines just weren't quick enough to get him, and these will make their last stand to allow the Patriarch to make his escape. So there we go. The Ultramarines try and track the Patriarch. They don't want to go down into the dank sewers of Vigilus, so they just throw a load of grenades down. Hopefully they've got him, but Marneus knows that this is not the end.